most of your approaches are failing because women don't trust you. And why should they? Because when you approach them, you try to act cocky, but you're really nervous. You're talking fast.
So keep it up. My name is... Oh, okay.
Or maybe you're talking slow.
When will you come again in Delhi?
Oh, nice.
Not sure about that.
So like you bring her to Connaught Place on her birthday.
Next year.
Like you
No,
know,
not every time.
it's got to be more exciting than that.
Or maybe you're not even talking about anything. You're just freezing. And when you're approaching her, you're just reeking of neediness. And she's not able to trust you. And when she doesn't trust you, she is going to reject you.
Bring them that.
Can I have your number?
You can have my Instagram ID.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay. Hey, wait.
The things I'm going to share in this video is not for everyone, so use it responsibly and use it wisely. Do not misuse it by any means. Also, if you like this kind of content, do hit the subscribe button and the bell button right next to it so you don't miss out on another video. So today I'm going to teach you about how to make a woman trust you, because trust is one of the most important elements when it comes to dating. When it comes to going out, approaching that woman, getting her home, getting a number, setting up a date, whatever you want, whatever the end result is, you need to build trust. You need her to trust you so that she can go out with you and she can comply to your demands. But before that, I want to break down why guys are not able to build trust when they're going out and approaching women. First of all, you learn about this pickup thing, you learn about this dark techniques and tricks, and you're like, okay, I'm going to use these lines, I'm going to use these routines on women, and I'm going to see how it goes. Now you go to the field, you find a beautiful girl, you approach her, and you're using all these routines, which is not really the real you, right? This is something that you've copied from the internet, something that maybe you've seen in my infields, or something you've seen in some other coach's video. And you're like, okay, I'm going to use the same lines, but it's not really you. And the girl can't figure that out because the lines are cocky, but when you're approaching her, maybe you're nervous, you're jittery in your body language movements, you're speaking too fast, and the lines that you're using are really cocky. So what is happening is you're not congruent to your thoughts, and your words and your actions are not really aligned. Alright, and I'll explain that later in the video. But right now I want you to understand, if you're being over gamey, if you're trying to copy some routines, if you're trying to be too pushy, if you're reeking of neediness, these are some of the factors which will make a woman not trust you and reject you instead.
Oh, hi. Excuse me. I really like your sweater, so I thought I would like to come and tell you about it. No, I was thinking of getting one for my sister. That's why. Oh, okay.
So let's talk about why build trust. Now, on a surface level, if you look at it, if you build trust with a woman or anyone you're talking to, they're more likely to comply to you, which basically means they're more likely to follow you wherever you go, or they're more likely to go on an instant date with you, they're more likely to go home with you, and also they're more likely to give you the number and, more likely to meet you later on. Apart from that, it also helps you build a lot of social circles, because if you're the reliable person in a social circle, people start introducing you to their friends, alright? People start introducing you to their friends and you become that social guy in a social circle. And all of that because people trust you not to do anything wrong when you're meeting their friends. So trust is sort of an important element of social dynamics, whether it's friendships, whether it's dating, whether it's relationships, whatever it may be. But apart from this surface level things, if you really want to go a level deeper, it will help you form deeper and meaningful relationships with people. It will help you form deeper and meaningful relationships, not only with girls, with guys as well, with social networks. And that is going to ultimately benefit you in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of your career, in terms of your profession, whatever you're doing. Now, trust is also the reason men and women are into bad relationships. And, I've seen this over and over again, that a woman is with a guy and the guy's probably, beating her or thrashing her or whatever, but she trusts him, all right? And she's sort of vulnerable to him. And that is the reason she's stuck to the guy. She probably knows that the guy's cheating on her. However, she's just stuck to him. Alright. The reason is because she's already vulnerable in front of the guy. She wants to trust the guy and she doesn't want to believe the reality. She doesn't want to believe the reality, which is the guy's probably cheating on her. And that's why she's stuck in that position. So that is the power of trust. If you look at it, they would want to believe in the fantasy that has been shown by the guy instead of, being analytical and being practical about the whole situation and realizing that the guy is fucking up. The woman would want to trust the guy and want to believe in the fantasy that he has shown. Now, trusting someone is when you're taking the risk of being vulnerable to someone. You're opening up to them and you're taking a risk of being vulnerable. And if a person is vulnerable to you, it's very easy to steer the conversation wherever you want it to go. Whether you want to take it to an intimate direction, whether you want to take it to a romantic direction, wherever you want the conversation to go, it's going to be a lot easier for you to steer it in that direction if the other person trusts you. So let's talk about how to build trust. Now, the first most important element of trust is likability. Now, if a person likes you, she or he is more likely to trust you. And what I mean is, initially, to decide whether they like you or not, all they have is to look at you, your appearance, your grooming, your fashion. All of these three things impact likability. Alright, so let me just break the concept of likability down real quick. Now I'm going to show you two images over here. which image do you like and which guy you can trust more. And let's break it down why. Now, if you see the first guy, he's more likable and more trustworthy. Why? Because his clothes are proper. Though they are wearing the same suit, though they're wearing similar suits, what matters is how he's presenting himself. Alright, he's well groomed, the suit is neat, and the body posture is good. And of course, the guy is also kind of good looking. If you focus on the second picture, the guy has crouched body language, he has weird facial expressions, he has some weird facial growth, as well as his suit doesn't look that neat and he's not that good looking. So all of this thing impacts the likability factor. Now I want to give you a step-by-step process to build instant trust with women. Okay. First of all, whenever you're going out, take a shower. Take a shower before you're going out, put that effort in, and whether it's the daytime or the nighttime. Secondly, be well groomed. And also focus on your fashion sense. Focus on what you're wearing, alright? Don't just go out there looking like anything, looking like you're just woken up. Focus on what you're wearing. Now, I'm not telling you to wear a suit when you're going out during the day, alright? I'm not telling you to do that. All you need to do is look presentable, look neat. Instead of, if you have a shabby haircut, get some short hair done. If you have like really long hair, you want to change, get a neat haircut done. All of that is definitely going to impact how people look at you and how people perceive you, and all of that is going to impact the likability factor as well. Now, step number 2, whenever you're talking to someone, have open body language. Have open body language. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, have a warm smile on your face. Because if you don't have a smile on your face, if you're like, really nervous, really, jittery, and your facial expressions are weird, like the picture we saw, then the girls are going to reject you. So have a warm smile on your face when you're approaching someone. Have open body language instead of just closed body language. And also, when you're trying to talk to someone, try to mirror their body language from time to time. Now, I know this is a pretty old concept of mirroring, but what you can do to even make it a little further is when you're talking to someone, try to listen to their language, alright? Like, for example, we have a different dialect over here in Delhi, we have a different dialect over there in Mumbai. So what you can do is you can try to copy some of the slangs or some of their words so that you can build more relatability and the person trusts you more. Now, step number 3 is have good verbal communication. Have good verbal communication, have good quality of conversations instead of just having a very bland and a basic conversation which 99% of the men actually have, which is like, hey, what do you do? What's your name? Instead of that, be real, alright? Be real, put your opinion forward and take some risks when you're in a conversation, because that is also going to help you build trust. And I remember there was this one time I was sitting with one of the guys who was helping me with my tour at that point in time, and I was with his friend. So he was there with his best friend, and I was sitting in the car and I was just talking to his best friend, and his best friend just had a realization that I've been talking to this guy for 10 minutes. He knows more about me than my actual best friend knows. And that was a weird realization that he had, because I knew about what his dad did, what his mother did, what his future plans were and all of that. And I was asking really deep questions instead of just asking, what do you like to do when you're not working, or some basic shit. And then he realized that, and he's like, stop the car, man, I just realized something. And then he asked his best friend, do you know even this about me? And I was just in the back seat, I was just asking him randomly. So instead of having those basic bland conversations where you genuinely don't seem interested, try to be interested in knowing the other person. Do not treat it like, okay, I'm just doing this task, I have to do 10 approaches today, so I'm going to approach this girl, then I'm going to approach this girl. That is not going to help you. Also try to want to get to know her instead of just thinking that I just want to do this approach just because I have to do this approach. Now, the fourth step is working on your voice tonality. Now, you need to work on your voice tonality because it's a very crucial factor of building trust. Now, one thing I want you to understand is whenever you're talking to someone, always be very compassionate, always talk with a lot of certainty behind whatever you're saying. And I want to give you a short example to explain this concept is, maybe you're going out somewhere, all right? Maybe you're going out in Delhi somewhere and you lose the way and your phone's map is not working. So you ask a guy, hey man, could you tell me the nearest metro station around here? And the guy's like, metro station, let me just think for a moment. Maybe it's over there, or maybe it's over there, right? Maybe it's over there. Why don't you go over there and check it out? Now, would you trust that guy? I don't think so, all right? Maybe you'll go a little forward and you'll ask another person. So it doesn't build that much trust. Why? Because he's uncertain, he's not sure, he's not decisive of whatever directions he's giving you, and because of that you won't trust him. Same things happen when you approach a girl. Now if you approach a girl and you're like, can we go for an instant date? Can I take you out for lunch tomorrow? The girl will not trust you. The girl will not trust that this guy actually wants it, because you're not that confident and you're stuttering, and that is one of the biggest mistakes a lot of new guys make.
Yeah, very good idea. Seriously.
Are you like
Usually
sisters?
I don't see such a height of those. in this area.
Thank
Now, before I share my step number 5, I also want to tell you that I've created a masterclass just for you guys. So if you really want to watch that masterclass, you want to see how we get results for our clients that we do, all you need to do is click the link below, register with your email and your full name, and watch that masterclass. Now let's go to step number 5. And step number 5 is fairly simple. It's all about sharing your own emotional stories with them so that they also get to emotionally invest. Now, when you are approaching a girl, when was the last time you just clicked with a girl? All right, try to think about that time. Why did you just click with the girl, and why did you start trusting her so fast, and what happened over there? Now, I'll tell you what happened over there. So what happened was you guys built relatability when you met because there was some common interest, there were some common emotional stories, and you guys instantly built relatability. And how did that happen was because you shared your emotional stories, all right? You were vulnerable yourself before you got the girl to get vulnerable with you. So that is one of the most important factors, because when the girl sees that, okay, this guy's sharing a lot about him, a lot of personal details about him, might as well share some of my personal details as well. But for that, you also need to get the girl interested, because if the girl has really low level of interest, she's not going to share her emotional story. So for example, you just go and talk to her, you're like, hey, excuse me, I had this daddy issues and my father beat me when I was a child and all that bullshit. She's not going to listen to you, man. No one gives a shit about you, all right? So you need to understand, you need to build that level of interest, you need to get her attracted before you can share all of that. And then once she also starts sharing, whatever emotional story she has, and of course that was a bad example, I don't want you to share all of that, all right? If you have been beaten by your father, keep it to your fucking self. Now, second thing is the emotional stories you might want to talk about is, the best places you traveled, all right? Your favorite places, your favorite memories of traveling instead of the best places you have traveled. Okay, so now these stories are going to create an emotional impact, and then you're going to ask her about her, favorite travel stories, or her best top memorable travel stories, or top memorable days in her life. And that's how you build instant connection and you build massive, massive trust. And apart from these 5 steps, if you really want to build authentic trust with people, you have to be authentic yourself. If you want to build trust with each and every person that you're talking to, you literally have to be congruent to whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking. And what I mean by congruency is your thoughts, your words, your actions should be completely aligned. So whatever you're thinking, your words should suggest that, and your actions should also show that. So for example, if you're nervous, if you look at a woman and you want to approach her, instead of hiding that emotion, instead of hiding your nervousness, try to embrace that, all right? Try to go up to her and tell her, hey, listen, I saw you from there. I'm kind of nervous. It's weird, but I just wanted to say hi to you. What's your name, by the way? Try to have this conversation, because once you embrace the emotion that you're feeling, what is going to happen with you is that you're going to be more confident in that particular situation. You're automatically going to be a lot more confident than you were feeling before. So try doing that and try embracing whatever you're feeling, whatever's going on in your head. For example, you walk up to a girl and you run out of things to say. Just tell her, hey, listen, I really don't know what to say. Let's just enjoy the awkward silence. All right. Now, one thing I want you to do is embrace whatever emotion you are in. Instead of trying to cover it, instead of trying to hide and, protect your self-image, so to speak, or your ego, try to just be open, try to be vulnerable, and try to trust people, and then they will be able to trust you. This is your coach Arnav, and if you really want to get better with your dating skills this year, I would suggest to book a call with my team and let's see if you're a right fit to work together.